Now, I want you to just think back for a second to your middle school days. Specifically, try to recall your absolute most boring history classes. You definitely know the ones I'm talking about. Dusty textbooks, a teacher with a totally monotone voice just droning on about dates, and that brutal struggle to keep your heavy eyes open while the clock literally crawls by. So let's jump right into the halls of Golden Peak and see exactly how they turn everything we know about school completely upside down.
So our story kicks off in classroom 7B on what is allegedly an ordinary Tuesday. But honestly, 7B is a total powder keg. We don't just have kids misbehaving here, we have a full-blown symphony of pure, unsupervised classroom chaos. Paper planes are soaring across the room like these tiny little rebellions. Notes are being furiously passed under desks, and whispers are literally bouncing off the walls in this relentless crescendo. And right in the middle of it all, one kid is just peacefully napping in the back corner.
It just takes one stray paper plane drifting gracefully through the air to land directly in the hair of a student named Sia. Her eye twitches. And you know what? That tiny twitch pushes the entire room right over the edge. Erasers become weapons, the room descends into absolute anarchy. It's a full-on middle school battlefield where stationary supplies are basically turned into heavy artillery.
And then the classroom door swings open, right at the absolute peak of this war. A new teacher arrives. Just imagine the sheer, freezing horror of 30 students suddenly realizing they've been caught red-handed mid-battle. Crack. A flying eraser finds a target, but it is definitely not another student. It knocks the new teacher's glasses clean off her face. Time just stops. 30 guilty faces stare in dead, terrifying silence, holding their breath, just waiting for the inevitable explosion of adult rage.
But instead of yelling, this new teacher simply bends down, picks up her broken glasses, looks right through the cracked lens, and calmly says, "Hi, students. I am your new history teacher, Miss Margaret." Her unbelievable composure just completely scrambles the room. From the terrified back row comes this hilarious whispered evolution as they try to process her name. First it's Miss Matt, then Miss Magnet, until someone finally surrenders to the absurdity of the whole moment and just blurts out, "Miss Magnet!"
The class exploded, and Miss Margaret laughed with them. These students were totally braced for punishment, for rigid authority. But by laughing along with her new accidental nickname, she instantly disarms them and proves she is something entirely different.
Miss Margaret doesn't open up some boring syllabus. Instead, she physically goes around the room taking away their dreary, outdated textbooks. In their place, she drops down these vibrant, colorful guidebooks, and beside every single one, she places a thick chocolate bar directly on the desk. She literally replaces dusty rules with bright colors and candy. It starts with just one hesitant bite from a brave student testing the waters. Then, the sound cascades. Soon, every single wrapper in the room is rustling. Without raising her voice once, she has the entire class eating out of her hand, completely mesmerized by whatever she plans to do next. 3, 2, 1. Boom. A massive, unexpected shockwave rips through the middle of this mundane Tuesday. The air actually crackles, and a jaw-dropping magical explosion detonates right there in classroom 7B.
30 children vanished inside the books, just like that. The magical transformation is completely instantaneous. 1 second, this unruly class is sitting there happily eating chocolate, and the very next, they're swallowed whole, pulled directly into the pages of history.
As the dust settles, the chaotic symphony of flying erasers and rustling wrappers is replaced by this deep, eerie silence. 30 empty desks are left behind. In that heavy, quiet aftermath, Miss Margaret stands entirely alone and just smirks. She didn't just assign a chapter on the Roman Empire, she literally sent them there. If history swallowed you whole right now, where would you end up? What era would you be dropped into? And how would you actually fare against the elements of the past?